Hey, everybody, we are live. I am here with Adam today. Welcome to the Rolling Forward podcast, a podcast where grit meets growth, interviewing people who keep rolling forward no matter what life throws at them. Real people, real stories, powered by purpose, resilience, and a drive that never ends. There's an inside joke to that. I'll let you guys figure that out. You might not even know that.
I don't even know the inside joke. I love the intro.
I will tell you the inside joke. Let me finish this. I'm Zack Sikora. Spina bifida didn't stop me. It just gave me a better excuse to sit down while I take over the world. Today's shirt, actually, we have two shirts today. We have the Wheelchair Mafia shirt, and then we also have Adam's shirt, Rolling with the Punches.
This was not designed by me, by the way. This is a Zach original. You can get it in the Rolling Forward store.
Yes, you can grab one or check out all my designs at rollingforward.printful.me. If you got a funny shirt idea, throw it in the comments. The funniest might make it into the shop. Now, let's roll into today's episode with Adam. So, guys, I just want to introduce him real quick because Adam has been become a really good friend of mine. He and I have trained in this MMA gym for, I don't know, probably about a year now, something like that.
I'd say about that.
That check out. Yeah. And so Adam and I mean, we always, like, the dynamic of the gym is basically like we do workouts and we just hang out after and do stuff like that. So I've gotten to know Adam. He's a great person. I can't wait for you guys to get to know him as well. So without further ado, Adam, who are you?
Oh, what a question. I think we're all trying to figure that one out. But my name is Adam. I am an able-body accountant.
You're
so
able-bodied?
A little bit of a different world. Well, it depends on who you ask.
Oh, yeah, right.
But, the unfortunate thing about my situation is that I have to stand and throw kicks and knees. So if you go to an MMA gym, sometimes being sitting down is a little better.
Guys, he's physically able-bodied. We don't know about the head, though.
I've taken a couple punches to the face. I've taken a couple bit of everything to the face, but
Yeah.
I've been fortunate. A little bit of background on me in this gym. I don't want to steal any clout. I am not a fighter. I have not competed in anything sanctioned. I have never fought someone in a cage or anything like that. The sport I got into a couple of years back, really enjoyed it. And at this point in my life, pretty happy being an accountant that just does this on the side for fun.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. You are guest 4 or 5, something like that. So I am looking forward to it. So do you want to share how well, I guess we kind of shared how we already met. So, I mean, essentially, go ahead. You can.
Yeah, so I met the coach that we both trained with a couple of years back at a different gym, and I was already an accountant at the time in my mid-20s. I put my nickel into one of the big 4 accounting firms, served my time there. I was working there at the time, and just started training with him after work. A couple of years down the road, gyms moved. I started coming out to this gym, which is where I met Zach and some of the other guests you might have seen on this podcast before. Go watch the other episodes if you hadn't already. Shameless plug from a man.
Heck yeah.
But,
Thank you. Yeah, I've had Zach on the show twice already. I don't know if the viewers will see both episodes because we kind of did them back to back. So I kind of want to space out the second episode from the first episode that I did with them. And then hopefully we'll have Rugen, who's the other guy in the wheelchair that doesn't want to be said by name. Hopefully we'll meet him in later podcasts. So
Rugen, I'm gonna have to remember that.
I know.
So I don't tell any stories.
I've let it slip as well, and honestly, we're just using his first name, so I don't think I'll be too mad if we slip every so often. So
I was gonna drop a social security number.
Yeah. There you go. You are an accountant, so okay. So a little bit of fun before we get into some more serious is, do you have any humorous moments from training
Humorous moments from training. I think there's some awakening experiences that a lot of people that do train go through. So, like I said, I've never fought in anything sanctioned, but like I still got to the point where I was sparring
Mm.
with fighters. When a 16-year-old hits you in the face and your nose starts bleeding, that's a little bit of a come to Jesus moment. I have
Yeah.
definitely had that where you're just like, "Oh, I'm just trying to give this guy a little bit of work." I'm like, "Oh, he's not really responding to this. Let me try and touch him here so he knows what's going on, so he knows how to defend himself for when he starts fighting." And
Yeah.
no, he hits me with a counter, and I'm just like, "Well, son of a gun. Okay,
Dang.
that's what we're
Okay.
doing right now."
So what's the first time that you got punched in the face? Like what's like I haven't been really truly punched in the face yet. So.
Well, in the environment that we do it in is very different. You're expecting the punch
Yeah.
and you're also one on one with another person. You
Mhm.
don't go like fully into sparring and like I don't go through fight camp level 100%. So like you're touching gloves with someone, you'll start off first time you ever will do it. You'll be like, okay, we're just going 50%. Just try and see if you can land any punches.
Yeah.
Make sure you have good defense and everything like that. Um, your first couple times, it's gonna feel like you're going 100% and the other person's going 100%, but they, pretty quickly will let you know that they are a lot better than you and that you are just very helpless out there.
Mm.
It's a fun feeling to have because you work in finance, I'm an accountant, there's a sense of control
Yeah.
that we like to have. I like it when all my ducks are in a row. My outlook is an unholy space with flags
Yeah.
and tasks and to-dos.
Yeah.
So being in a situation where you're not always
It's
fully in
unpredictable.
control,
Yeah.
it's great. It's a lot of
Interesting.
fun. It's something that more people should get involved in.
Have you ever gotten put to sleep?
No, I've never actually gone under.
Yeah.
I don't do nearly as much rolling as I should do. It's a lot of fun, and that's the one where you feel really helpless
Uh,
because, to some extent, even when you start to learn some of the submissions, you learn some of the escapes, you know the mechanics behind it, but you just can't do it because the person you're rolling with, who's been rolling for 5, 10 years longer than you have,
yeah.
knows exactly what you're trying to do, and they countered it before you even thought about it.
Yeah.
It's like, playing chess with someone who's really, really good,
Yeah.
and as soon as you start to be like, "Okay, if I bring my queen out and do this," "No, they saw that sucker like
And then
5
you
moves
just get
ago, buddy."
checkmated. Yeah.
It's a trap every time.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of give
Interesting.
and take. It's really it's a fun thing to get into because, like chess,
Yeah.
every time you go out there, it's something a little different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's interesting. So I play chess here and there. I'm undefeated in the gym, by the way. Other than Zach beat me, gym trainer Zach beat me one time out of I don't know 7 or 8. So
I think you're 3-0 against me. I'll do the chess.com
3
daily
and
puzzle.
oh, what?
No, you beat me 3 times. Did I say
Oh,
0-3?
okay. No,
No, no, no,
yeah,
you are
yeah.
3-0 against me. Like,
Okay, okay.
I'm not trying to steal your thunder or
Yeah, yeah.
anything
I,
like
I
that.
thought I thought you were saying you won 3 times, but no,
I might have
I'm just
dreamed
kidding.
up 1 or 2 of them. No, I think we
Yeah, yeah.
played 3 times. You, threw me off the board all 3 times, and I said, "You know what? Let's go fight."
Yeah, right? And I, wheeled my ass out there and yeah,
Yeah, we
no.
we we don't fight, we do martial arts.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
there's a difference.
We run when there's an actual fight if we can.
Oh, goodness, I run away. It's like, "Oh, cool, like, I know how to take a punch. I know how to slip a punch. I know how to throw something that's better." "Oh, yeah, no, 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 at the bars, de-escalate.
Yeah.
De-escalate, get out of there. There is nothing that's worth it.
I
There's nothing that's worth it."
I think that's one of the really cool things, like, that's one of the things that I heard, like, from the MMA community is, like, just the whole philosophy and, like, the almost the just the mindset is different than I think a lot of the rest of the world, and it's cool that the mindset is to run first, and if you have to fight, defend yourself. Maybe incapacitate the person in like a non-destructive way if absolutely needed,
A
but
lot
like
of people that are really good do fall that mindset. There's also sometimes a valley in the middle of some
mm,
people that like to get a violence fix or something like that, and you got to be careful. Like I was at a local event. It was just like kickboxing sparring, but they were selling tickets and whatnot, and people from different gyms and like some of the neighboring states were coming in, and one of the guys, he was a trainer for some kid, had a shirt that said, like, "Have you considered violence?" question mark or something like that. And I'm
Oh,
just like, I'm not sending my kid to that gym.
yeah.
Like, it was something of that nature.
Well, I know Rob has stopped training people because they got violent, and he's like, "Nope, I'm not training you to be
Yeah,
a
you
fighter
gotta be
anymore." So,
careful, and we're very fortunate that we have a very good coach that
yeah,
is martial arts first. Like I mentioned, I'm not a fighter. I do not fight. I do martial arts poorly, might I add. I do them
guys,
very poorly,
he could absolutely
but
kick most people's ass. I'm just saying. No, 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 but he
but
doesn't want to.
I don't want
Sorry,
to,
sorry,
and you
sorry.
never know the one person you walk into on the street, like,
That's
oh,
true.
this guy could have been doing Muay Thai since he was 5 years old or something like that.
Yeah,
Like, it's a very interesting community because I've been fortunate enough to train with a couple pro fighters who like provide for them and their family
yeah,
off of professional athletics,
mm,
off of fighting, and that's awesome.
yeah.
I've met both of their daughters, like
Uh,
real good family men, good people. I went to I don't know if we can get into branding. It rhymes with the UFC fight up
uh,
in Louisville when they were in Louisville last year. There were like 3 fights that broke out in the stands,
okay.
and you know that those aren't guys that are practitioners or training or anything like that. Because anyone who's trained will tell you, first off, don't get into a fight with a stranger because you don't know who's been doing Muay Thai since they
Yeah,
were like 5 years old. Second off, that's the dumbest place in the world you can get in a fight with a
right.
stranger
Yeah,
because you don't know who's been doing Muay Thai since
right,
they were 5 years old.
right. Exactly.
It's crazy.
It's interesting too because a thought experiment is like, okay, so do more people get in fights at like UFC or like hockey or NFL or
In the stadium. So
yeah,
don't let that story I said sully your opinion of like mixed martial arts events.
okay,
The buddies I were with were at a UFC event in Columbus a couple of years earlier, like a numbered card, I
yeah,
think. And they were like, there wasn't a single fight. Everyone was so nice. That was just a bad night. I'm not trying to
mm,
dog on the state of Kentucky.
sure,
We'll say it was people from Indiana that were coming into town or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
I'm from
It's like
northern
Ocean,
Indiana. I'm from
Michigan.
Indiana, by the way, so I
Okay.
can make that joke. You can't,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. I won't. Just like yeah, yeah. Okay. Hey, real quick, I actually want to go back for a quick second because I do have this wheelchair mafia shirt, and some people might be like, "Why do you have a shirt? Why did you create a shirt that says wheelchair mafia?" And the reason is Rob, our trainer. My other friend Matt, or oh shoot, I just did it. But my other friend Rugen is also in a wheelchair, and so Rob started calling Rugen and I the wheelchair mafia. So thus the shirt has been born. So I wanted to make sure I said that real quick. But anyway, we can get back to so the other question, the next question I have for you. So you're an accountant. Anything more that you want to share about that? Oh, you know what? Before the podcast started, you were talking to me about like sharing it with work people, and you doing MMA and stuff like that. So can you share that a little
yeah,
bit?
because I'm not an amateur fighter or anything like that, I try and keep a very safe distance from stealing clout or everything like that. At a previous job I had, like when people would ask for an icebreaker, it's like, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, like I do martial arts on the side or something like that." Just like as a fun, "Oh, this is what I'm doing after work,"
Yeah.
because you can't tell because the oversized t-shirt, and if you're listening to the audio version, I'm making for a bad podcast, but I
Adam's ripped, by the way, guys.
I have a thin frame, but I carry a little bit of muscle on that frame. So there are people asking me, in Big Four accounting, when you're working the 80, 100, 120 hours a week or something like that. Okay, dude, like, how are you, like, still staying in shape? How are you taking care of yourself? How are you doing that? It's like,
Yeah.
I find a way to make time for me. This is what I do, by the way. And
Mm,
I think some people liked that a little bit more than others. Some people thought it was cool. Some people thought like, "Oh, is this guy gonna like get a hashtag ref air and start throwing his computer and trying to
oh.
hit someone?" I'm like, and I don't think it was ever like that. But it's like, oh wait, shoot, does this guy have a violent tendency? No, I'm a giant teddy bear.
Mm,
But it was also like, okay, I learned my lesson that some people have perceived connotations over this sport,
uh,
which, as I mentioned, are unfair, but don't always come from an unfair place.
Yeah.
So when I started working this new job, there's like 4 people that know that I do this as my after work hobby.
Interesting.
It's a lot easier to make time for this now that I'm out of the big four accounting world. But
Yeah.
it's it's fun. I have a really good thing going, and I think a lot of the people that I do work with think that it's just essentially a nothing wrong with this, like a jazzercise boxing type
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
where you're doing
yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2 in
Um,
leotards, and if that's what they think, I'm cool with that.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't need to project a certain image of myself or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting because I tell people and they're like, "Wait, how do you do MMA?" And so I think they're more curious than anything.
Like of the
But
mechanics, or sorry to cut you off. Of the
yeah, like
mechanics.
I mean, you know, grappling.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, obviously, I can't kick or I can't kick well enough to do anything. So,
You're able to kick. I've held mitts for you enough
yeah,
that you're able to kick, and we actually got Zach out onto the mats about a week ago for the first time.
we sure
Did a
did.
little bit of rolling. Uh, he has enough leg strength to be able to shrimp out of someone being on top. I think we taught you a rear naked
Yep.
chokehold.
I'm working on with the shrimp though. Like my flexibility isn't there, and like I don't have butt muscles like everybody else, so
Mhm.
they're a little weak. So I think over time I could get that I could get that going a little bit better. But yeah, shrimping and rear naked chokehold. I worked on that with like Rob and Matt a while back too. So I'm familiar with that, and then like. Yeah, it was a interesting experience, but, like, so r real quick, going back to work, my work, like, one of my coworkers is, like, knows when I'm going to like, what days I have to leave and when and stuff like that sometimes, because sometimes we have to work a lot of hours
Yeah.
and stuff like that, so it's like, "No, this is a hard stop for me," and this coworker is like, "Is it Mace Day?" Because that's probably one of my favorite things to do is swing the mace. It's one of those things where, like, you can swing it to work on a skill, and then you swing it enough, and then you don't even realize that you're just exhausted after, and then, you know.
Everything is flow. Like for
Yeah.
those of you who this might be the first episode, I assume we've talked about a mace on other episodes. For those of you that this is your first episode, a mace is essentially a weighted metal ball attached to a thick stick, metal stick, essentially. Um, so it's the thing that you might have seen in social media clips of someone swinging it over their head, behind their back, et cetera, et cetera. And I freaking love that thing as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
It
yeah.
really teaches you that everything is flow.
Mhm.
So to me, when I first started picking this up, I really only got into lifting weights in the gym maybe like 8-ish years ago or something like that. And I got into this maybe 3 to 4 years ago. So
Yeah.
I already had a couple of years of experience of weightlifting where you're trying to be tense. And the whole thing with weightlifting is be tense, tighten your muscles,
Mhm.
lift that weight. And you go to this where, oh, you gotta be loose.
Yeah.
You gotta be flow. Like with the mace, you move that thing once you start using the mace's weight against itself,
Mhm.
bringing it over your head, behind your back, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a very different mindset, which
Yeah.
I really like.
Yeah, yeah, it sure is. It's interesting because I started at the 10 and I was like, I don't know how to swing this behind my back and I'm scared to hit my wheels and now I'm swinging a 30 pounds.
Yeah.
So,
And 10
yeah,
pounds is a lot to begin with, dude.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's pretty awesome. So, okay, so let's do this. What attracted you to accounting?
Goodness, why does anyone get into accounting? No, I genuinely enjoy it. A lot of self-deprecating humor,
Yeah,
but I like problem solving. I
yeah,
like numbers. I like thinking through complex problems and coming to a solution.
yeah.
So that drew me to accounting in college, and it's something that I enjoyed enough to stick with, and it
Mhm.
gave me a foundation to do a lot. I don't feel like I'm trapped in a box with my degree.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm able to go out and solve complex problems. I
Right.
think every day. That's a lot more than a lot of people can say.
Sure.
I think at work, and I enjoy that.
Yeah. That's awesome. And then MMA translates in the same thing because you kind of have to think, I guess, faster on your feet and all that, right?
I know how to say 1, 2, 3, 2. It's all numbers. It's all the
Yeah,
same. 1,
that's
2,
so
3, 2,
true.
slip, up, hook, 2. Uh,
Yeah, we
there's a
go
lot of different skills. I like the aspect of MMA where it isn't accounting, where it's a lot more.
yeah.
There is some structure to standing up and throwing punches, like you're throwing your sets or something like that.
There's no structure to me standing up and throwing punches.
Well, when I'm holding for you,
Standing up and throwing punches.
okay, yeah,
Come
okay.
on,
Well,
laugh. Ah!
there's absolutely no structure when I hold for you because you're a southpaw too, and I have the coordination of a turtle.
Southpaw, for those that don't know, is left-handed. I don't know. I hope most people know that, but maybe not. I don't know.
Everyone who's right-handed that's listening to this tonight, when you brush your teeth, do it with your left hand. No, I'm not freaking kidding you,
It's
dude.
true.
Back when I was training with a couple people who were training to fight amateur, you end up, even if you're right-handed, sometimes you have to have your be showing southpaw because okay, maybe you just got out of something, maybe you're backed against a corner. So we would actually train southpaw too. It'd be like, okay, we're gonna
Uh,
do 3-minute rounds. Minute one is gonna be, or first 3 minutes are gonna be traditional orthodox. Second three are gonna be southpaw. And like as me holding mitts, I'm just like, oh, that's more work for me because I gotta be knowing where I'm gonna catch all these and tell them what to do. So if I tell you, okay, we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 2, roll up, hook 2, but we're doing southpaw. Oh wait, all of a sudden that adds another element of thinking, which I like thinking at work.
yeah,
The whole thing about the after work is getting to a point where you don't have to think.
yeah, that's true. Just throw punches and yeah, all that. Okay, so let's talk about this for a little bit. You you work how many hours a week do you work, would you say?
Currently, I'm at a good job where I'm like 40 to
Oh,
45.
great. Okay.
Currently, yeah.
And so like you're pretty fit. So like what do you do? Like how do you balance work and then life and working out and all that?
So I'm going to preface this with I don't have any kids.
Yeah,
I don't
I
have
don't
any
either.
kids. I've had people at work that'll ask me this question, and I always say, hey, what works for me isn't going to work for everyone.
Yeah.
But the structure that comes with a 9 to 5 means that you're able to have consistency. So I wake up and I do strength training in the mornings before work.
Mm.
So about, Monday through Friday, I'm in a gym that's in walking distance of my house, and I go and I work out before work. Then I go to work, and then after work is when I'll either have free time or do martial arts training.
Mm.
Because I'm not a competitive fighter, I don't need to be doing my martial arts training 6 times a week.
Yeah.
But it's still possible to do that if you do want to compete,
Mhm.
if you do want to get into a camp. It's a lot harder if you have a job where you're working a million hours a week, but it's all about carving out time for consistency.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um yeah, so right now I do the MMA stuff here twice a week
Mhm.
and then maybe sometimes on the weekends. But then I do tennis twice a week as well. But I coach, and coaching isn't like sometimes I'll play, but most of the time when I'm coaching, I'm not. I'm feeding balls or something like that. So it's like minimal exercise. So I definitely want to like like I've been thinking more and more about like okay, I want to crank it up a notch and actually like start training a little bit more and stuff like that. But I'm not a morning person at all, and it's like I I feel like I need to become a morning person in order to make it work.
Buddy, it's called pre-workout on the nightstand. Your alarm
Oh,
goes off at 5:15 a.m. You take that sucker, you scoop that sucker, you drink that sucker before you get out of bed, and you say, "Well, I guess I gotta do something now. I got 3 cups of coffee flowing through my veins. I guess I gotta go and do something."
That's great. Yeah.
I currently do not do that, but when I first started working out in the mornings, I had a buddy that told me to do that. He's like, "That's not a joke. You will become a morning person after a week of that."
That's hysterical. I love it.
It's like the
Um,
alarm because when you first wake up, you're groggy, you're not thinking of anything.
yeah.
That's a freebie. That's a hot tip for the people.
Yeah. Pre-workout. That's interesting. I do know I've known friends that have had like they put coffee next to their bed
Yeah.
and like not warm, just like cold coffee, or like maybe it's warm the night before, but they just leave it there and they'll like chug it while they're in bed. So that way they're like, nope, can't go back to
We
sleep.
gotta go now. Dude,
Yeah.
I only drink black coffee when I drink coffee
Uh-huh.
because I'm pretty hyper, I'm pretty uppity to begin with. So
Uh-huh.
I do not want to start liking the taste of coffee.
Oh,
I need
interesting.
to hate this thing, man. It's like as soon as I start drinking this for fun, oh, the wheels are coming off, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, that's
We're going
funny.
crazy.
Wait, so you are a coffee drinker
I'll drink
daily or?
sometimes. No, not daily because remember, I wake up and have 200 milligrams
Yeah.
of caffeine to
Yeah,
start
yeah,
the
yeah,
day.
yeah.
So I don't
Okay.
want to have bad health or anything
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, that's smart. I don't want you to have bad health either. I want you to stick around for a little bit.
Once a year, sometime in January, I go 2 weeks cold turkey from caffeine to try and reset the tolerance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Make sure that I don't need to start having 400 milligrams of caffeine in the morning because that's a slippery slope, buddy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it stinks that you keep growing more and more tolerant to it, and then it's just not as effective. So,
Hmm.
okay, let's do a rapid fire. So just answer these as fast as you can. It's gonna be this or that, or maybe just a quick one word or a sentence on these.
Okay,
Okay. Striking or grappling?
striking.
Morning workouts or evening sessions? We already answered that.
Morning for lifting, evening for martial
Oh,
arts.
okay, okay.
That's
Wait,
just because how I do it now.
is it because more people are in the martial arts in the
I
evening,
don't
or?
want to think at all in the
Uh,
mornings.
uh,
And we're
uh,
training to get to a point where we don't think
yeah,
when we're doing what we're doing now.
true. Just
Oh,
everything
your
going.
first couple of years, you're gonna we got to get that thinking knocked out of you, buddy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Preferred accounting software.
Microsoft Excel.
I was actually gonna ask you about Excel
No,
earlier. Is it really? It's not.
no, like if you're a larger company, anything SAP is going to be fine. That costs $1 zillion. If you're a smaller company,
Oh,
like if you're a small company, QuickBooks is perfectly fine.
okay, okay. Favorite MMA fighter.
Currently, probably Dustin Poirier. I really like him. I really like. He brings a couple different styles to the table. He's
Okay.
a badass, and I just like watching him fight.
Okay, okay. Coffee or energy drinks?
Coffee. I'm not a big like Monster drinker or Red Bull drinker or anything like that, but I do pre-workout
Yeah.
for before workouts, which is how I get energy.
Yeah. So side tangent, I was doing 5 hour energies for, I don't know, a while when I was a little bit younger.
Hmm.
And I was driving, and right after I did a 5 hour energy, and my heart started fluttering. And it was fluttering to the point where like I was freaking out, and I actually pulled off the highway and got into a like pulled into a gas station and like called my parents, and they're like, Zach, you gotta call 911. Like, call
Jesus,
911
man.
now. And I didn't, because I'm a like I'm so stubborn in the doctor area or whatever, calling 911. It's like, yeah, but what if it's nothing? And it's like, yeah, but what if it's something? So I stayed in the gas station for a little bit longer, and like, I don't know, a decent amount of time, and then I was fine. But anyway,
That's the end of the story.
yeah.
And then nothing ever happened
And
again.
then I was fine. And I actually, that was a scare to make me stop doing 5 hour energies. So,
I
um,
only do 5 hour energy when I'm driving.
do you really?
Yeah,
That's
I
funny.
got one in the glove compartment.
That's funny. Tax season or fight camp?
I've never been through a fight camp, but I've been through a couple busy seasons. I would rather go through a fight camp and have to do the 3-a-day workouts than another one of
Yeah.
those.
Okay, okay. Podcast or audiobooks during commutes?
Audiobooks during commutes, podcasts when I'm at work and need something to listen to.
Interesting. Okay. So can you listen to a podcast while you do some work? Like,
you should listen to this podcast during a commute because you
Heck
can take
yeah.
everything in.
Let's
But
go.
I enjoy having some background noise when I work sometimes if I'm not currently working in a team environment, if I'm working through like a one-man task or something like that. Big background noise guy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I definitely need background noise as well. Yeah, okay. So
This is definitely a commute. Listen to every word. Hit that 15-second rewind every couple minutes so you can actually understand what we're saying and
yeah,
follow
yeah,
along.
yeah, right.
Live on the 15-second rewind when I listen to an audiobook.
Budgeting spreadsheets or training logs? I don't know that I like that one, but if you have an answer.
Training logs as in, listen, buddy, if you're going to ask me to choose between accounting and martial arts, I love my job. I genuinely like my job. I wake up like, hey, I like my job. I have a good thing going. It's going to be martial arts. It's going to be martial arts every time, dude.
Yeah.
This is
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, and then favorite post-training meal.
I got some lasagna in the fridge that I'm ready to just go home and absolutely obliterate.
Okay. All right. So, hey guys, real quick, if you like the rapid fire section, let me know. I'm debating about whether to keep it or take it out. Um, thoughts on that, just from a overall podcast structure?
From an overall podcast structure, I'm hoping I'm giving the people what they want. And hopefully, we don't have some of that 15-second fast forward going through this.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. Anyway, I've done it with a couple people. I actually have done more with you than I have other people, but it goes fast, and I think it might be it's a cool get to know you segment, So
yeah.
that's why I have it. Okay, so let's get to the nuts and bolts of things. What keeps you rolling forward, Adam?
Keeps me rolling forward. Momentum.
Momentum.
Momentum keeps me
You're
rolling
so
forward.
funny.
Well, no, like I think I mentioned the pre-workout by the nightstand.
Yeah.
That gets you established to a routine. You do it for a week, all of a sudden you have the momentum to keep doing.
Mm-hmm.
You can keep the pre-workout in a cabinet or something like that. You can keep the pre-workout downstairs.
Yeah.
You can keep the pre-workout at the gym. I don't care because you have the momentum going.
I love
You
that.
have it built up. You have a system
Yeah.
built down. That doesn't mean that everything has to be rigid. Your whole life doesn't have to be accounting and doing everything by the rules. Like I walk into the gym in the mornings not knowing what I'm going to do. I know like, oh, today is a chest day. I don't know, okay, am I going to do a dumbbell bench press? Am I going to do like a barbell bench press of sorts? Or am I going to do like a cable fly or something like that? I'm like, no, let's just see what's open and
Yeah.
go and do it. But having the momentum to go forward. Like I said, I genuinely enjoy my job. This is my second job out of college. I gained a lot of valuable experience in my first job, have the momentum to carry it forward and actually build on that in the second job. Keep moving forward.
Yeah.
I'm at a point in my life where this podcast is centered around martial arts. I'm not going to compete in anything sanctioned, and I'm perfectly comfortable with that. I am a 29-year-old CPA. Like, I don't have anything that I need to prove to the world.
Yeah.
But I like coming back to this, and I have the momentum to keep on doing and maybe teach someone else. That 16-year-old kid that gave me a bloody nose. Don't think it was broken. It might have only been bloody, but that 16-year-old kid that punches me in the face sometimes, like I have the momentum to make him a better fighter because maybe fighting could be a career path for this guy.
Yeah.
And maybe he could travel the world doing that. And that's opportunities that not everyone always has.
Yeah.
So having the momentum to keep going forward.
I love that. That's a great answer. What about what motivates you to get up in the morning and keep rolling forward?
Existential dread.
Existential
I'm kidding.
dread.
That's a joke.
Let's get into it. Let's go. No, I'm kidding.
Well, one day I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And no, I'm kidding. No,
Yeah.
we're not talking existential dread. What motivates me to get out in the morning?
Yeah.
Liking what I do, man.
Okay.
Like I like going to the gym and fighting gravity. I haven't beaten it yet.
Yeah.
I haven't. There's a lot of guys that are stronger than me because like I'm still trying to keep an athletic frame. I can't just eat chicken all day and eat chicken all day and get up to 200 pounds. Like I weigh about 175 pounds right now. That's
Damn.
pretty light as far as people that have been going to the gym for like 6, 7 years
How
ago.
tall are you?
Depends on what app you're on.
5, 6, 6, 7 then?
Yeah, so I'm 6'7" on some of the apps.
Yeah.
Realistically, this is a weird thing about me, dude. I have been measured in at the doctor's office everywhere between 5'9" and 5'11".
Mm.
I don't know if that's just like a male doctor being like, "My guy, you're 5'11, what's up?"
Stop
And then
slouching.
a female doctor being like, "You're 5'9, don't you forget it." Or a woman doctor saying it's like, "If I see you on an app and it says 5'10", I'm gonna. So like, realistically, probably 5'10" ish.
Okay.
5'9" is probably a lot more fair to say.
Guys, I think the camera shows this, but like how much do you weigh?
Right now about 175-ish.
175, and he's not fat like me. So like he's a pretty skinny dude
I,
and
I, I have
pretty cut.
visible abs. It's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean that's a pretty heavy weight. You got a lot of muscle. So okay, so
Comparably to some folks compared to people that work out on a regular basis. It's funny because I do that and I'm middle of the pack but comfortable and enjoying myself. Then I'll come here and I'm
yeah,
a little bit less than middle of the pack, but I'm still enjoying myself.
yeah.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
So let me ask you this: what do you want to get out of training?
Happiness, dude. Like,
Yeah,
no,
okay,
I
great.
genuinely enjoy doing this.
Yeah,
Like there's a whole physical fitness aspect of like, okay, if you're physically sharp, then you'll be mentally sharp
yeah,
and you'll be better. Like, oh, I joke around all the time. The reason I go to the gym in the morning is to make Outlook be scared of me.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but there is an aspect where some people lift weights, some people get into martial arts, do sports, run, whatever it is. They like what they do.
yeah,
Like I used to run a lot. I don't run that much anymore. My lawn run is like 5 miles, and it's just getting me conditioning to be able to hold or throw punches for a couple rounds or whatnot.
yeah.
Like all my running is built around this. Like it's finding the thing that you like to do.
Right.
I know some people that run and they love running,
Yeah,
and it's awesome.
yeah,
I could probably do more push-ups than them, but who cares?
yeah,
Who cares? Like because they could run laps around me
yeah.
and they enjoy doing it.
I did track starting when I was 10, and then at 12 I found wheelchair tennis, and like I didn't realize how much I didn't like track. You know, like I it was just so much more fun doing something with a ball instead of just running. You
I
know.
think that's a lot of people's story with running. They were like, "Wait a minute, I didn't realize this sucked right
Yeah, it's
here."
like, wait, I can run and hit a ball instead of just run?
So if you, the takeaway is, if you enjoy running, don't ever do anything else in your life.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so 2 things. I wanted to ask you how you got into just conditioning and really, I mean, like again, you're fit. I'm not trying to toot your horn because I probably said that like 7 times on this podcast in like, I don't know, 20 minutes. But anyway, like what inspired you to do that?
The oversized shirt, for those of you who are watching this live and slouched over on a podcast, is probably not selling myself all that well. I'm checking myself out in the camera right now, and I think a lot of people already turned this off. But what inspired me to do this? Like,
Yeah.
I grew up playing sports, like a lot of people did. Grew up playing, pick up soccer, pick up basketball, all of that other fun stuff,
Mm.
and then you get to a point in your life where you start to realize, wait a minute, maybe I'm going to be an accountant, not an athlete. Uh, no, I still haven't given up on the dream. Like if I wake up at like 6'11" tomorrow, maybe I can make the NBA. I'm 29. I wouldn't.
Dude, you can do it.
No
I have
chance.
faith in you.
No, not a chance in hell. But like it was a good way for me to
Believe.
still be working out. Because when I was like, I grew up like, playing soccer and whatnot, and I was not a gym rat. Like,
Mm.
I just viewed it as, okay, I'll go to the gym sometimes in order to try and make myself better at soccer. So I wasn't carrying that much weight around
Yeah.
on me. But then I got into it as oh, well, why don't you just do this for doing it? Oh, wait a minute. This is actually fun.
Yeah,
This is actually fun. I like what I'm doing now.
it is. It's a lot of fun. Do you think Do you think MMA should be like a part of like school curriculum?
Like in gym class or
Yeah,
whatnot?
like growing up.
We're about to get into the whole "these kids soft" debate, but,
Yeah.
I would have really liked it if I came into this sport at a younger age. I didn't wrestle in high school. I
Yeah.
had a bunch of friends that wrestled in high school, and my life would probably be a lot different if I wrestled in high school, but I didn't, and I love who I am right now, and I'm
Yeah.
happy with myself, so there's no loss on me, but, I think that as the sport becomes more normalized, there's elements of grappling that you might be able to incorporate with kids a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a hard sell to tell a parent,
Hey, your kid's
like, your
fighting.
kid's fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, when I first started doing this, my mom thought it was also, like, the jazzercise stuff too, so there's a funny story about that. I call my parents a lot. I was calling my mom on a Saturday, and walking home from the gym one day, she was like, "Oh, wait a minute, Adam, okay, you normally call on Sundays. Like, we weren't expecting this." I was like, "Oh, no, I just had some time, so I want to touch base. I'm just walking home from the gym." She's like, "Oh, what were you doing there on Saturday?" I'm like, "Oh, we got a guy who's got a fight in St. Petersburg in a couple weeks, so
Kicking
he's
some
about to,
balls.
yeah, he's about to fly out to Bulgaria to adjust himself. So we were just doing one last training session with him before we sent him off." And my mom goes, "You what now?" This is like a couple months in. She's like, "Wait a minute, wait. You got a guy taking a fight in Russia?" I'm like, "Oh, no, he's a great guy. We just wanted to do one last training session with him before he goes because he trains with some guys out in Bulgaria before he heads over."
Who
And
who
from there, what's up,
who's this?
Tony Johnson?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Tony Johnson. I've been fortunate enough to train in adjacent to a couple times. He wouldn't be able to. He would not recognize me in a Kroger right
Yeah.
now. He would not, but he's a great guy.
So, when I first started getting into this, I didn't know like, I don't know a lot of MMA fighters. Like, I've been watching UFC more and more, but, like, I, um I was introduced to him,
Mhm.
and he's like, "Hey, I'm Tony." I'm like, "Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Zach." And then, like, I didn't know who he was, and, like, I trained, and, like, as I'm leaving, I'm like, "Sorry, what's your name again?" And
Uh,
and he just kinda looked at me, he goes,
you
like,
don't know.
you don't know who I am?" And he said he was I think he thought I was, like, joking or something like that, and, like, yeah, I just yeah, he didn't
Back
know him,
when
so
he held the heavyweight belt in ACA over in Russia, he brought that into the gym one day, and I will never forgive myself for not getting a picture with it or anything like that. But
yeah.
that thing was massive, and it was awesome. It had some weight to it, like
Cool.
it was so cool. And Tony's just a great guy.
Yeah, okay, so, I always have a little bit of the podcast talking about, disability, I guess.
Hmm.
And so the question that I have for you, is what's it been like to I mean, how long have you been training for in MMA?
Um, Poorly about 3 years, maybe.
About 3 years.
Yeah,
So
3 years.
you
Yeah,
basically went 2 years, maybe a little bit more, training probably solely with able-bodied people,
yeah.
and then Rugen and I came along, and we started training together and stuff like that. So, what's that been like? How's it been different? Like, any thoughts that you have?
Well, I don't have to get kicked as much anymore, which is pretty nice.
Yes, I'm so glad you turned that funny. Oh man, that's hysterical. Yeah, kicking no kicks. That is a plus. That's such a great joke. I need to turn that into a shirt. Like
Buddy, I don't give a crap that you can't use your legs. It's that you're a southpaw that drives me up a wall. I'm like, one, two, no, but my right hand is my one.
yeah.
No, what am I doing? What is going on?
Yeah. You know, I think one of the cool things that I appreciate about I'm gonna call it a community, I guess.
Mhm.
But like it's a small group of people is and I told this to Zach too, but like you guys this sounds weird to say because I don't think most people do this. I think most people do this too, but you guys treated Matt and I like everybody else. And I think
Mm.
based on your response that you just gave, like there's really not much of a difference. Like you said, southpaw. You didn't say anything about my disability. I mean, you made the joke about no
Yeah.
kicks or whatever, but still, like, there's no like real difference there, and I think that's cool. So like being accepted in that way, but then the other cool thing is like you'll be like, "Hey, let's do a circuit together,"
Hmm.
and you want to throw in like some squats or I don't know whatever,
Yeah.
some things with your legs that maybe I can't do, and we talk through how to improvise it as a person in a wheelchair. And I think that's so cool. Like it's not like, hey, let's do our own circuits. Able-bodied people will do one thing, wheelchair people will do something else because we're too different or whatever. Like I don't know. It's
We
just
all have
cool.
the same stations. And the nice thing is that even when we're doing something that might be lower body, everything is a core exercise.
Yeah.
So there's always ways to adjust something in order to be able to work with anything that someone
Yeah.
has.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, anything else that you want to add about like just working with disabled people and the differences or similarities even? I
I
don't
mean,
know.
anything that you work with a disabled person over is something that can be overcome. You just got to improvise,
Yeah.
adapt, and overcome. Like, I think you probably hear some people be like, oh, I notice no difference. I'm like, well, no, there is. It's like some people can't do a squat, some people can't do a
Yeah.
certain motion. Some people are southpaw, and you have to overcome that one. But everything can be overcome. If you can't find out how to overcome that, that's not something going on with some other person.
Right.
That's you, but you don't know your craft well enough.
Right. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And the other thing that I want to throw out is like to the disabled community, one of the things that I kind of pride myself on is I look at being disabled and solving for something an able-bodied person
Mhm.
does is like its own puzzle. To see, okay, like you're using those muscles, you're using your legs, but like how can I use those similar muscles while sitting down in the wheelchair and stuff like that? And so what would you say so I guess one of the things that I want to really drive home to the disabled community is it as much as you want it maybe to be on other people, it's not. It's on you. And the other thing that I pride myself on is I try to make myself get everybody really comfortable with my wheelchair really quick.
Mhm.
Like I'll throw jokes out and stuff like that. So like and I'm completely okay with people throwing jokes back at me, wheelchair jokes, and I think they're hysterical. And so what would you say to an able-bodied person, coach, other teammate who maybe is like uncomfortable working with a wheelchair, someone in a wheelchair? What'd you say to them?
It's just another way for you to learn.
Yeah.
You're coming over problems that you've never seen before. So, like when we're doing martial arts and we're sitting down, I never sat down and held mitts for anyone before.
Oh, cool.
That's an entire new way of seeing that and being like, okay, oh, so this is how I should turn my hips when I do something like that. I see that you're not able to do this. I am. How can I translate this into making my own punches better? Finding
Yeah.
common ground and seeing
Interesting.
what you can do. Different martial arts steal from each other
Mhm.
all the time. Just because two people don't do something the same way or are unable to doesn't mean there's not stuff you can't learn from them.
So true. Yeah, that's interesting. You've never, actually gotten in my wheelchair and thrown punches, have you?
I've never sat in your wheelchair now.
We gotta do that.
We got to do
I
that.
wanna see because so,
Like
guys,
I've sat in a chair and held mitts. I've never sat in a chair and thrown
it
punches.
yeah.
And
Oh,
actually, I've never sat in a
a
wheelchair and held
wheelchair.
mitts. I have
Right.
sat in a just a folding chair before.
Right. Yeah. Well, so I'm an idiot, and I did not put brakes on this chair. Actually, it came with brakes, and I took them off because, for the longest time, I had this mentality where I just hated brakes.
All
Uh,
gas, no brakes, baby.
what right? One of the reasons why I hate brakes is when the old chairs had these things where like if this is the wheel. the brake would be right here, and it would come down, right? And it would just sit like a millimeter or two above the wheel, right? And you would grab the entire wheel, the hand rim and the wheel itself, and take a push, and you just rip up your thumb be,
Yeah,
because of that. And so
that sounds
I
like
hated
fun.
brakes. Now they have these scissor brakes that are pretty collapsible, but like for the longest time, I didn't want brakes. I actually convinced Rugen and a couple other friends not to get brakes on their next chair, and then their next chair they ended up getting brakes on it. So anyway, that's a weird break story that probably nobody cares about, but
Just a little break in the action.
a little break in the action. Yeah, yeah. So was I gonna ask you anything else about that? I don't think so. But yeah, anyway, I want you to get in my wheelchair, and so that way you can experience what it's like to punch without brakes and stuff like that. So
Yeah. So we actually, for the listeners, will put 5, 10, 15-pound dumbbells like under Zach's wheel so that he
yeah.
doesn't roll anywhere
Uh,
because he can generate a pretty good amount of force with his punches. So we definitely had that where he was rolling backwards and rolling backwards and rolling backwards with punch, which is the exact opposite of what the podcast is going for, rolling forwards. So
That's so true.
we had to fix that one real quick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. There's different ways to adapt, and we found breaks for me. They're in the form of
Adapt, improvise, and
dumbbells.
overcome.
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't have to just be like martial arts. Like you can adapt to absolutely anything. Side fact, you never knew this about me. So this is new for you too. I was on the board of directors for a small nonprofit that essentially served as a production studio for artists with disabilities for like
Oh,
4 years. So I actually did have some experience with people in wheelchairs before you. I was not one of the artistic minds. I was the treasurer. I was the accounting mind of that
uh,
operation. So I already did have a little bit of a background
yeah,
of like how to work with people,
huh,
and you quickly learn like, oh yeah, those suckers can dance a lot better than me,
yeah,
like
yeah.
already. So like that set me in the mindset where, yeah, dude, people are going to be better than you at this, and that is awesome.
Yeah. How do you broach like I feel like you know my limits of what I can and cannot do pretty well, and I think you maybe know Matt's as well, and what those differences are. How do you honestly, I don't even know how you found that out. I probably just told you, but at the same time, like you probably broached it in a way that was like first of all, I don't mind anybody asking me. A
Mhm.
complete stranger could ask me what my disability is, and I like ask me any personal question about my disability. I'd be fine with it. But
I wait for you to crack the most offensive joke, and then I take it to 75%. Because here, no, the thing is, if I match 100% of the furthest joke, that's going to be too far.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, okay, we're going to tone it down to 75. Off camera, I have said some awful things to tell you to put on a t-shirt that you're probably thinking they're like, I think that's funny. I can't put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, yeah. There's some funny T-shirts that I'd love to do, but they're not age appropriate. Let's say.
These are not awful things. That was a joke. No, well, there is nothing but respect going on
Oh well,
in our.
no. Some of the T-shirt things. I thought we were talking about like less than a little bit more than like PG-13 and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like that. Shirts like that, but we won't go into that. Because this is a kid friendly podcast. It's not really a kid friendly.
I
I'd
haven't
say,
sworn at
but
all. I've watched myself.
yeah, that's good. I like it. Um, okay, so what about like the community within gym culture and stuff like that?
People are always uplifting each other, which
Yeah.
is it sounds very cliche. You hear that all the time, like um, whether it's like strength training or something like that. It's like there's a lot of people stronger than me. When I see someone like do a big lift or something like that, I'm like, oh, I'm trying to be like you, my guy.
Yeah.
Knowing that I don't want to gain that much more weight than 175 pounds, so I will not, in
Yeah.
fact, be like you, my guy, no matter how much I want to be. And then when I s- see people like touching gloves or something like that, and they're really good, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this is how I want to look. Because in that moment, like when you're throwing punches, you think you have it. Like your first couple times where you're touching gloves with someone like that, you're like, okay, I've been practicing my footwork for 18 months now. I've been doing this punches. And then you see the video of yourself and you're just like a fish, dude. You're not
Yeah.
moving your feet at all. You're not getting side to side. You're no head movement. You're barely even turning your hips on your punches. Like it's humbling because doing this you realize how much goes into it in order to be good.
Yeah, dude, I learned forehands when I first started, and then I saw Olivia later outside of the gym, and I was like, Olivia, I learned how to block when someone tries to grab me, grab my shirt, and Olivia just goes, boom, and I was like, whoa, hold on, do it slower, do it slower, do it slower, and and then she did it again. She's like,
Boom. Oh, wait a minute. This
and
is
I was
what
like,
being good is like.
"Oh, I did just learn that, and I am not equipped to handle if someone actually
Yeah,
went full
don't
speed at
don't get
me."
in street fights. Run away.
Yeah, 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 right. But yeah, anyway, it was still fun to be like, "I learned a skill," and then, you know.
Oh, and then you're gonna unlearn it. Like,
Yeah.
coach says even more than my own name or hello. He says, "That's not how I taught you how to do that.
Yeah,
That's not how I taught you.
that's
I
true.
didn't teach you to do that." It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
could you remind me how you taught me to do it?"
Rob expects when we go over things, and we did forehands for a really long time, and like there's different varieties of forehands, and it's funny because Rob was doing it with me after I hadn't done it for a while, and he's like, dude, did you already forget? And it's like he kind of expects us to like know it once we do it for a while, and it's like, oh wait, hold on, I just okay, it's like this, and then you do it and all that. So
Buddy, I still burn my toast. Like,
just for everybody, a forehand is not a tennis forehand that we're talking about. We're actually talking about a forehand. It's a set of moves to block and then punch back. And so it's one of the very first things that I learned. It probably is for you as well, right?
I could be totally butchering this, but if someone wants to Google it, I think the martial art foundational base is Wing Chun, but I'm not
Uh,
entirely sure. I don't want to promise that one.
yeah, sure. Look it up. Hashtag no research.
Yeah.
No, but okay, cool. So then, how has MMA and your gym affected you outside of that world?
I feel a lot more comfortable with my place in the world, knowing that I'm not always going to be the biggest and the baddest, and there's always going to be someone better than you, and you just got to be comfortable with that, man. Like,
Interesting.
yeah, I'm not. I think I'm a pretty good accountant. I'm never going to be the best accountant in the whole wide world.
Mm,
There's 8 billion of us about. I'm never going to be the best fighter in the whole wide world. I don't even compete.
yeah.
I get my ass kicked by a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never gonna be the strongest guy in the whole wide world. Does that mean I'm, like, bad at that? No. I
Yeah.
still enjoy doing it,
Yeah.
and when I hold mitts for someone else, they enjoy it. When I teach someone how to do strength training at the gym, they enjoy it. Like,
Mhm.
I make accounting enjoyable for
Yeah.
some people sometimes.
Yeah.
I it really helps you get your place in the world and just
Interesting.
enjoy where you're at.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Do you ever think about I guess like if somebody ever approaches you on the street and obviously the first move is to run, but like if you actually needed to defend yourself or even
Yeah,
like
take the
stick up
paper
for
in my
somebody
wallet,
else.
buddy.
What's that?
Yeah, take the paper in my wallet, buddy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. But what if like you saw, I don't know, somebody getting roughed up and stuff like that? Like, do you ever think about like those scenarios of like where you might need to use your
oh, I'm not
skills?
doing martial. I'm biting them.
You're biting that one.
Like, buddy, the rules go out the window. It's like, okay, I know how to keep a distance. I'd be throwing like some teeps and whatnot to keep the distance because no one sees the legs coming in the street fight. But yeah, no, use that to keep the distance. And if we can just end it there, end it there. Uh, you know, teeps, front kicks to keep your distance. Their odds are they're not going to know how to defend their legs. So throw a couple like kicks to their quad,
Yeah.
hamstring type area. I don't really do calf kicks because that's risky business. But like,
So I'm not necessarily looking for like advice on what you would do in that situation. I think I'm more like, so for me, one of my big motivators of getting into MMA is I don't know if you know who Jordan Peterson is.
yep,
One of the things that
not
he's
that familiar with a lot of his stuff. I know who he is though.
yeah. So one of the things that he says is be a monster, but learn how to contain it. And what that means is if you're docile
Mhm,
and you don't know how to defend yourself, then you're just weak.
mhm,
And I'm probably butchering it a lot as far as that goes, but like it's essentially like, hey, learn how to be formidable in life, and it's not a monster, right? It's
mhm,
more like just being formidable and being able to use it wisely, let's say. Like if you get into an altercation
mhm.
and stuff like that. So I don't know. That was one of my motivators, and I just wanted to see what your thoughts were on that.
I can see where that comes from. My personal philosophy is rather different. I've actually follow a couple tendencies of nihilism, which is kind of weird to say, only a few of them, but their whole thing is it sounds like the whole emo, oh, nothing matters, the world's ending. It's like, no, like one day you're going to die. Like just be here, be you. If
Yeah.
someone is rude to you on the street, what does it matter to you? If you
Uh,
can go different ways, it's not going to affect your life.
right.
Oh, the bartender didn't give me a drink right away. Like,
Yeah.
how does that make my life any worse?
Right.
There's nothing that I have to do. We can just move on. Like, we
Yeah.
only got so many years on this rock. Like,
Right.
the only people in this world that have power over you are the people that you let have power over you.
So true.
So why would I waste the time to have someone who I'm never going to see again have that opportunity?
Yeah.
Yeah, someone can like be rude to me on the street. Like if I don't have to defend myself, I'm not going to. Like
Right.
if they're going after me, that's fine. If they're going after one of my friends or like a girlfriend or something like that, yeah, it's a different story. But
Mhm.
if someone's just trying to do something with me, it's like
Sure.
I'm not gonna bring it because once you start getting to physical altercations, someone can get hurt.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
someone at the end of the day, like people are like, "Oh yeah, martial arts." Like it's almost like a dance you're doing with someone where you're doing the ins and outs. At the end of the day, it's still fighting. Like
Yeah.
these were invented by people where, hey, we need to do hand to hand combat to win a war. Like
Mm,
you can get hurt. So there's no
yeah.
reason to do that if you don't absolutely need to.
100%. I agree. I just think
Mhm.
like maybe there's a moment where I would need to.
If
So
there is, you'll be ready for it.
I hope so.
Um, but that's confidence in yourself and knowing what you're able to do and what you're not able to do.
Yeah.
De-escalate, de-escalate,
Yeah.
de-escalate. If you walk around with that idea in the back of your head, you better be able to, or be ready to stand on business.
Yeah. For
The whole
sure.
idea of I don't own any firearms, but everyone I know who does own a firearm, they say like the first thing in training is that if someone breaks into your house and you pull a gun, be ready to use it.
Right. Yeah.
Because if you walk through life in my mind thinking, "Oh, I gotta be ready to fight. I gotta be ready to fight. I gotta be ready to fight."
Mm,
When someone spills a drink on you, you're thinking, "I gotta be ready to fight. I gotta be ready to fight. I gotta be ready to fight,"
yeah.
rather than that's probably just an accident. That guy probably didn't mean it. And even if they were being a jerk and mean to like that doesn't. Oh no, the my night is done. You know how many more nights I got left in this life? I got a lot. So
Yeah.
that's not gonna affect it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm certainly not looking to fight.
Hmm.
So yeah, anyway, but yeah, that's interesting. I appreciate you sharing that perspective and all that. Um, let's see. We covered that. Okay, so if you could receive a letter from your future self, what advice would it contain?
This week's Powerball.
Yeah,
No,
okay,
no.
okay.
For my future self, or like if I could send my past self a
Yeah.
letter,
Uh,
or if
y-
I get a letter like tomorrow from my future self.
yeah, if you get a letter tomorrow from your future self.
Oh man, I've never heard this question worded this way. So I just want to know is like, hey, like what do you still do for fun and physical fitness? I
Oh,
really enjoy like this martial arts stuff.
yeah.
Am I going to be doing it in like 10 years? Am I going to be doing something else? Am I going to be training people? Am I
Mhm.
going to be just working out? If I have kids, like what am I going to do? Like there's a really good fighter, Habib. I think he went undefeated in the UFC over his professional career. Some people consider him
Mhm.
one of the best ever. Like in an interview, like someone asked him, it's like, "Hey, so are your kids gonna fight?" He's like, "They're going to grapple. They're gonna learn. They are never going to fight.
Yeah,
I fought.
yeah,
They don't need to fight."
yeah,
So like the extent of where does this take me and
right.
then my family?
Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be cool to see.
yeah. Can I ask about, do you have a girlfriend
I do
or
not have a girlfriend. I'm doing a
l
podcast right now.
ladies? If you want to talk to this handsome man, he has do you wanna shout out your socials at all, or
I don't even know my, social medias off the top of my head, which is probably, about the biggest green flag of all. No, I'm kidding.
right?
As he says into a microphone on a podcast.
Yeah.
We'll link him. My name is Adam. I don't know. Well, I think my last name is in all of the socials, so
I haven't introduced your last name, and I don't have to, so,
yeah, we
we could talk
can't, so
about it
don't
after.
matter. Sounds good.
But anyway, just let us know in the comments. Send me a DM on the Rolling Forward podcast page, and
Slide
I'll hook you up.
slide it into the Rolling Forward podcast with your best pickup line, your best DM. It doesn't even matter if you want to date Adam or not. Preferably if you don't. Like
Yeah,
I want to see some good stuff.
yeah. Okay, okay. So, what is one question you wish people asked you more?
Dang, dude, how are you so built different? No, something I wish people would ask me a lot more. Or some of the stuff that you already covered. It's like, so why accounting? So why that? Because a lot of people don't really associate accounting with this.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how many people do. Like we had not people that were trained to fight, but like you had lawyers that were going into doing workouts, you had engineers, like you had a lot of people that you consider to be like at the top of their game or the top of their craft or anything like that.
Yeah.
And you have all sorts of people. Like it's a very diverse crowd of people that you get into
Mhm.
these kind of environments. And it's awesome because everyone can be themselves and relate, whether it be like Avenged Sevenfold in the background or Migos or anything like that.
Mhm.
Like there's when you're getting that working, you're just getting that working.
I like it. Hey, so real quick, going back to relationships, you're single, but you want, I assume you want to eventually get married, and
Yeah,
you
that's the
mentioned
long
kids
term
as well.
goal. That's the long term goal.
How
Yeah.
many kids do you want?
Uh, oh man, probably like ballpark in the 3 to 4-ish range
Yeah.
or something like that. I
Okay.
feel like that's probably a good amount. Let them beat up on each other a little bit. When it's
Yeah.
only one or two, it's gonna be the one beaten down on
Yeah. Yeah.
the other, but
Yeah.
but I would be more than happy with 1 or 2 beautiful kids if I end up having 1 or 2 beautiful kids and they listen to this in a couple of years.
Nice.
Uh,
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 1 brother and 1 sister. I'm the
Okay.
oldest of the 3.
Okay. I'm the third out of four.
Okay.
So I have a
Oh,
older
so you got
brother.
beat down a little bit too much.
Yeah, my older brother's 5 years older, my older sister's 4 years, and then my little brother's 10 years younger. So
Oh, that's a so you were in 5th grade when
yeah,
this one yeah, probably about.
yeah.
So that's a yeah, was that almost like, being with a nephew growing up then or
Um,
niece or nephew?
it was, yeah, like he and I got pretty close because I don't know. He would go through things and he'd feel comfortable talking to me. Like he talked to me about girls and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And like man, he became he became a baller. Let's say he's married now, has a beautiful wife.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm very proud of him. He's turned out. He's turned out to be a pretty good kid, despite a lot of the
Despite
younger
his older brother.
craziness. Yeah, yeah, despite his older brother, yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. There's some stories that I can tell you off camera too that are maybe fun. So,
Mhm.
but anyway, what's something most people don't know about you but should?
My charming sense of humor,
It
mostly.
it
Yeah.
is. I
It
actually, this is probably one of the podcasts that I've the guest has thrown out the most jokes and humor, so I appreciate it. So
I, like to think I'm funny, like, I've done open mics before.
have you really?
Not really good at it because a lot of my humor is situational
Uh,
humor, where someone will say something and then I'll make a quip off it or something like that, and let me tell you, dude, when you just, like, step up onto a stage and you gotta set the background.
yeah,
Oh, buddy, that's a whole different ballgame.
yeah.
My first time ever doing that too, I followed some guy that I think had a depressive episode on stage, which some people
Oh,
have told me it's like, "Oh, no, that would have been good. The crowd would have been ready to hear something else." It's like, "No, dude." Everyone was just like, "What is going on?" And then I
oh.
walk up like, "What's up, guys? This is my first
Hey.
time doing this. Here's a couple jokes."
Oh no.
Uh,
Did you know Rugen did stand-up comedy?
I never knew that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to ask him
So,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. And dude, I've always wanted to to just try stand-up comedy. I think it'd be like a lot of the jokes would be just centered around me being in a wheelchair. Like the first joke that I'd say is like, "Hey guys, I'm here to do stand-up comedy, but," and then
Dude, that'd be a good one. You should because like it's a really cool thing, and I've actually told people to get into it for like presentation skills and whatnot because it's not a full 1 hour Netflix
Mm,
special. It's a 5 minute set at some bar where you go up and a minute and a half into the next person's round, no one can remember a single joke you said.
yeah,
If you were good, if you were bad, no one remembers a single
yeah,
joke. No one
yeah,
cares. Like, so
yeah.
it's a great way to get out there and try some new stuff.
Yeah, I'm just so busy with everything else. It's something that I'd love to do. I'm actually throwing a little gathering. It's called a presentation party. You're welcome to come, by the
Ooh.
way. It's going to be at the end of May where we will have 5 minute presentations and we can talk about whatever we want. And it's just a super fun thing. And you actually gave me a great idea. Like maybe that's a good opportunity to practice my stand up. But the other thing that I was thinking is, I one of the reasons why I started this podcast is because I want to do a TED talk,
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome.
and I want to do a TED talk around the disabled
Yeah.
community. I don't know exactly what. Like, I have some very passionate. There's a lot of things that I'm very passionate about, but like what would have the most effect with both able-bodied people and disabled people, and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing the podcast, but also like I don't know. That's to say that during this presentation party, I might try to do something along those lines and think about like what I'd say in a TED talk and say it then. But then I don't know if that's the right environment for that.
That'll be good because 'cause you'll have, like, a nice live audience that can react to
Mm.
you, and TED is nice because it has live audience. Open mics are nice because 'cause they're live, like, I don't know how, like, influencers do it on TikTok when you don't have, like, a live
Yeah,
audience to know, like, what hits and what doesn't, or
right.
I've given a couple presentations, like, in front of, a couple hundred people, but on Teams, and in modern Teams Zoom
Mm.
environment, when everyone else's cameras are off and you're muted, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I'll crack a joke, and then I'll just be quiet for, like, a second half, be like, "Oh, yeah, that went over well. They're laughing," and then continue it over. You know,
Oh,
the sounds of, like, the da 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 da,
that
da 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 da.
that's gotta be kinda hard. Dude, okay, so
You have no way to read a room, dude.
that's an interesting, we'll use this as one of the last topics, but, So I have to present in large
Mhm.
groups too, and dude, you know my personality. I'm just like I like to throw out jokes a lot and stuff like that, and like in work meetings, I've not ever been able to do that.
Mhm.
Um, I'd love to. Like, how do you do that while keeping it professional? I guess, or like without getting people pissed off at you because you like I don't know.
Find something that reinforces learning. Use your humor as a way to highlight a certain point. Where do you want the attention to be at? Like I'm Catholic. Some of the best priests that I've ever met as far as a homily goes are very good at strategically placing jokes in the middle of it in order to draw your attention. So if you've never been to a Catholic mass, those who haven't been, it's not like a mega church mass where you have all of this fanfare going around.
Yeah.
They're very structured, and the sermon that the priest gives is only 10 to 15 minutes. So
Uh-huh.
it's the one break in a lot of the rigidity, but it's easy for priests to follow that structure of rigidity. But a well timed joke cracked at the right spot, right before or right after, like a key point
Uh-huh.
that draws people back
It
in.
does.
A
You're
lot
right.
of stuff in work, like I pay attention in work meetings, but like in those big trainings and whatnot, it can sometimes be hard if you have people that are really smart and really good at what they do,
Yeah.
but can't keep you hooked in.
Right. Yeah.
Humor is a great tool if the end goal is to get your point across, to keep
Yeah.
the audience hooked.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're just doing humor for humor's sake, you're just being a silly, silly goose, like,
Yeah.
and that's not what you want. But if you're like, hey, this is a slide that I need people to remember,
Yeah.
you can crack a joke about it.
Yeah. Interesting. So I've been in this role for a couple years,
Mhm,
and I transitioned from a role where I was talking to a lot of those people
mhm,
that I'm currently working with,
yeah,
but it was via Teams. And I didn't realize these people that I've talked to on Teams for a year or two, they had no idea I was disabled. And it was the funniest thing ever because it was a realization because like I went up to this guy and I was like, "Hey, how's it going? I'm Zack Sikora. Nice to meet you. Finally in person." And like you would see the looking down and then back up and like they try not to be awkward about it, but it's like and it's like, oh
um,
my gosh. I just like
this
rocked their world. They
never
think
came
there's
up,
this
yeah.
able-bodied person that they see their picture on Teams or whatever, and like or like video chat, and they just think that's normal everywhere else. And
You should really mess with them, and, like, the next time you see him, also have a sling on or something like that, like,
yeah, like just roll around in circles with the sling because I can't push forward with both hands.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, but I mean, it's too late now. But I suppose I could do that for other people. I'm sure there's other people that I interact with on Teams that don't know that I'm in a wheelchair. But like one of my go-to humors is the wheelchair, right?
No, like, that's a good one. Is
And
that, like, a coping mechanism, or is that, like, just a funny thing?
um, no, I don't think it's a coping mechanism. Well, so I'll say this:
Mhm,
if there's two paths that I can take,
mhm,
and the one path is I could say, "Woe is me," wallow in self pity, and just be miserable. But like, why? Right? Like, and so the other path is like, let's have fun with it,
yeah,
and like so I'll crack jokes, and one of the probably the biggest reasons why I started to do that was uh, there is an elephant in the room with everybody that I meet for the
mhm,
first time. And a lot of people are just like, I don't know how to respond to this guy, and I like, and it's people just overanalyze it and think too much about it because
mhm,
it's something different, and they're not used to. They're just not sure how to interact and stuff like that. So I'll throw jokes immediately, so that way they know that I'm comfortable and they can be more comfortable with me.
mhm.
So I think maybe that's
'Cause you're a funny guy. I've heard you tell a lot of jokes that aren't wheelchair related. So like that, it just plays into your
Yeah,
character and who you are because you like comedy.
I do. I love laughing. I love making people laugh as well. So, yeah. So that's interesting. I need to work on my throwing out more jokes and stuff. But like if I drop like that I'm disabled on a call or something, like one of my favorite things to say is that's lamer than my legs. Right? But I don't know. Like obviously I don't know that I can say that to somebody in a work meeting. But
Join the next team call with some people you haven't met before wearing an eye patch. And then if someone asks about that, be like, wait, what happened to your eye? It's like, oh, there's nothing wrong with my eye. Only my legs. Hand down.
that's great. I'm never on video though. With like our work doesn't really like care if we're on video or not. There's some people that turn on the video, but that's it. So.
I'm a big video on guy. I've been in calls before where I'm the only video on guy. I feel like it just makes it a little more personal.
I agree. I think if we were forced to turn on video, I would enjoy it more.
Yeah.
But
My,
sometimes I wake up in the morning and I log into work and my hair's a mess and I don't know, maybe naked. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah.
But so I don't know.
I'm in the office 5 days a week, and my last job was client service. So, yeah, I don't mind it because I have a job that I really like.
How far is your commute?
It's like 25 minutes in the morning,
Yeah.
like 40 minutes after work. But
Yeah.
it's a lot better hours than my previous job.
Fair.
So like
Okay.
I'm doing well.
Yeah. All right. All
If
right.
if that's the biggest gripe that I have in life, life is going pretty well.
Yeah. Okay. So we're nearing the end. Is there anything that you want to either one ask me if there's something that we missed that you want to get out to the world? Now's your chance.
Yeah, what's your favorite combination to throw?
Favorite combination?
Like it doesn't have
Um,
to be like a whole 20-step one, but it's like, man, I really love that 2-3-2.
that's a great question. I don't know that I've thought about it.
And you were asking me earlier how you'd have you do to someone in a fight.
Well, you've been
You
doing
gotta
it.
have your go-to.
You've been doing it longer.
Yeah.
No, like
The answer is run away.
I don't like just throwing 1-2s. Jab punch.
You like the longer stuff, like the
I like the
20
stand.
yeah, the 20
The
combination or
stand
the
is
20
fun.
punch combinations that you memorize.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I think the other thing that I like is like with forehands or not. Is it nine
Nine
hands?
hands.
It is nine hands. Yeah. Okay. With forehands or nine hands, like there's like the why behind it, right? Like
Mhm.
so, I don't necessarily want to just throw punches to throw punches, but
Yeah.
like with with the stand, like you're ducking and then you're throwing another punch and I love how it connects. Like so you
Yeah.
duck in the stand and you throw an uppercut and that's because you're already low and so you're throwing an uppercut, right?
If I
And
slip, I'm already here. Just
yeah,
keep your hands up.
exactly, and then like and then like the very last one is throwing that two and then
Mhm.
hook and then two again, and it's I love learning the flow of how all that goes together and how your body should just move, and it's such a natural movement that you have to
Yeah.
learn, which is oddly enough.
As soon as you get to one where it builds into the next, you're like, "Oh, wait, I would naturally do this because it's already there for me."
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's one of the things that I like about punches and
Mhm.
combinations and all that. So, anything else?
Feel like I got a lot of other funny stories that we haven't made our way to, so I might need to come back on some other time to
I
finish the job.
I would love that. Okay, guys, we're gonna call it. I'm gonna read my outro. I just made it on ChatGPT for the first time, so give me feedback. If you also if you liked anything about the show, put it in the comments. Give me a like, follow. Put in the comments what you liked, what you didn't like. tell us how much you appreciate how jacked Adam is.
Should also say
And
we just got done with a workout too, so I'm looking at myself in this and saying, "Man, maybe I should have led with saying that." And
that's
maybe I'll
true.
wear a suit and tie and do this before the workout next time.
Yeah, right. I forgot to kind of mention that we just came from working out. So okay. So thanks for joining us today on the Rolling Forward podcast. If you like what you heard, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. I want to hear what keeps you rolling forward. My next T-shirt idea or something you heard today that stuck with you. I'm for it all. Want to see more shirts like the one I'm wearing and like the one Adam is wearing? Do you want to be a part of the Wheelchair Mafia? Do you want to be rolling with the punches?
Rolling with the punches.
Yeah, you can find them. You can find my designs over at rollingforward.printful.me. And if you've got a story worth sharing that fits the theme of what we're doing here, I'd love to hear from you. You could be my next guest. Until next time, keep rolling forward. Okay, bye.